Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be around the world. This is Dr. Gerry Clum. It's a pleasure to be back with you again, and hard to believe that we're starting the second quarter of the year, April 2nd, and we're about to get cranking on the onto the halfway point of the year here before too long. So, for all of you in the Northern Hemisphere that are trudging through the final days of winter, hopefully final days of winter, I think everybody will be glad to be over with this one for sure. But what we'd like to talk about today and spend a few minutes on is what's been going on in and around the profession over the past month, maybe 6 weeks or so. The opportunity in the profession for a number of different meetings and different groups that have been taking place has been quite significant. And I'd like to just take a few minutes and walk you through some of the opportunities that I've had the opportunity to participate in, some on behalf of Life University, some on behalf of the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress and other organizations, and bring you up to date on things that I hear about, see going on around the world, and take it from there. So let's get started on this if we can. Earlier in the year, the Integrated Health Policy Consortium, which is an organization that Life University sponsors, that ChiroSecure helps to sponsor, held its annual retreat as well as a congressional briefing at the House Rayburn Office Building in Washington, D.C. The congressional briefing and the caucus, it was a meeting of the Health and Wellness Caucus of the U.S. House of Representatives. That was the occasion for the briefing. And at that time, the profession, as well as several other professions, including acupuncture, massage, naturopathy, were all represented in that environment as we began to continue the dialogue with members of Congress and their staffs about the role that alternative health care or complementary care, or the current term of the day, integrated healthcare, can play to modify the existing system, create a better opportunity for the public to be healthier and happier, and to lower costs and increase patient satisfaction, the triple aim of healthcare, as we've heard about over the years. I'm pleased to report that chiropractic care was a highly sought after feature in terms of the demonstration session that was part of the briefing. We had two tracks running at the briefing at the same time. One was a lecture presentation format that involved members of the House, members of their staff, and people from different committees associated with the House. And the second was a hands-on environment where practitioners came in, acupuncturists, chiropractors, naturopaths, massage practitioners, came in to meet with staff to talk about their issues, their interest in each of the disciplines, and to provide a demonstration of how each discipline would begin to approach the circumstances of a patient in a given setting. And chiropractic care was a very highly sought after component of all of those demonstrations, and it was a very great thing to see for the profession and an exciting opportunity for us to have a firsthand dialogue with people in this position about the care we provide, the implications of that care, and the opportunities that care can offer individuals as well as the system at large. Coming out of that is a very important action step that I'd like to ask your help with. As I said before, this began as a meeting of the Health and Wellness Caucus of the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, the first thing is that the caucus is available only to members of the House. So if you want to make your senators aware of it, that's fine, but senators are ineligible to join and to participate in this because it is a House of Representatives caucus. If you have a relationship with a member of the House or a member or their health staff member or someone of that nature, encourage them to contact Ms. Kelly Gumond. Kelly is the the Director of Governmental Affairs for the Integrated Health Policy Consortium, and Kelly can help connect the staff members or the member with the leadership of the Health and Wellness Caucus in the House of Representatives to have your House member join in the caucus and to be have more opportunities to be briefed on the developments in integrative healthcare and the role that we can play in helping to reduce costs, improve health, and improve patient satisfaction along the way. The Integrated Health Policy Consortium represents, as I said, a wide range of disciplines, ranging from licensed disciplines such as chiropractic or acupuncture to unlicensed disciplines such as yoga practitioners, and across the spectrum, basically persons interested in health, interested in well-being, interested in functioning in an integrated system to bring the best opportunities to the public for care and the greatest avoidance of dangerous interventions such as drugs and surgery whenever possible. So keep an eye out for information about IHPC. Talk to your member of the House, your House member, to ask them to join the caucus, and put them in touch with Kelly at Kelly Guimond, Guimond, at ihpc.org. That's KGUIMOND at ihpc.org. Just let them know you heard about the caucus and they'd like more information, and Kelly will be happy to follow through with you. So let's move on from there. The next meeting that happened, as it generally does in March of this year, or March of each year, is the annual meeting of the Research Agenda Conference of the Association of Chiropractic Colleges. The ACC RAC meeting this year was held in Baltimore, right on the harbor. It was a beautiful day, and still a little chilly, but it was nice and sunny, and a beautiful time to be in Baltimore. And there were the ACC RAC meeting is a meeting of all of the institutions that belong to the ACC, their faculties, their administration, and for example, the presidents will meet, the deans will meet, the clinic directors will meet, the finance officers will meet, and they'll begin to learn from one another, to help one another develop the institution that they're at more fully, and help other institutions develop along the way. To that end, the Association of Chiropractic Colleges has recently developed a 3-year certificate program available to individuals who attend this conference who are involved in chiropractic education. And it's a leadership certificate, in chiropractic education. And I was very honored to be invited by Mr. David O'Brien and Dr. Brian McCauley, the program leaders, to present the first lecture in this 3-year series on leadership in chiropractic education. It was very tempting to come in there as somebody who has been away from a presidency for 8 or 9 years now, and talk about the old days and that kind of thing, and reveal my age and time in the ranks. But hopefully I stayed away from that pitfall and was able to chat about the information and the circumstances that are unique to chiropractic education over the years, have been unique and continue to be unique in this environment. Leadership is leadership. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in the military, whether you're in business, whether you're in education, whether you're in a church, a synagogue, or at home. Everybody functions in a leadership role at one time or another, and learning how to be more effective at it, learning what works for certain people, what doesn't work, can be very, very useful over time, and hopefully we'll be able to impart some of those thoughts along the way. Another event that took place at the Research Agenda Conference was something that I think we've chatted about in this environment before. But last December, the National Academies of Medicine, Engineering, and Sciences, there was a workshop on the non-pharmacological approaches to pain management. And chiropractic was very, very heavily featured in this presentation. and the role of the profession was facilitated by the Association of Chiropractic Colleges and by the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress, which led financial support that allowed the ACC to be at the table and to represent the profession so ably in that environment. It was quite exciting. It was the highest ranking or highest level meeting I've ever participated in the profession, in going on almost 50 years now. And we're talking about having the leadership of CMS, the leadership of the Department of Defense, the leadership relative to healthcare, the leadership of the Veterans Administration, key players from United Healthcare, the nation's largest insurer. And the bottom line was very simple. The discussion was not what will chiropractic's role be. The chiropractic involvement was a foregone conclusion in these discussions, and there was significant conversation about the extent to which the profession can facilitate a non-pharmacological approach, particularly to pain management. And it was a very exciting conference, and it was a very important one because of the players that were there and the perspective with which the chiropractic profession and the contribution of the chiropractor was discussed. So congratulations are due to the Foundation for Chiropractic Progress for making the financial support available to the ACC, and for the ACC for stepping up and participating in the planning stages that ultimately developed into the workshop of 2018 in Washington, D.C. So let's shift gears again. One of the most recent discussions and meetings was the World Federation of Chiropractic meeting, which was jointly held in cooperation with the European Chiropractors Union, and it was held in Berlin in late March. It was an 800-person gathering, and it was a very important meeting because of the persons that had brought from around the world. I believe there were 52 or 53 countries that were represented. But there was a significant degree of tension that existed at this meeting. And there was a very overt effort on part of the research community in the persons of some of the key research leadership to direct the profession in a political fashion that some in attendance, myself included, found to be quite unfavorable and quite troublesome. Some of you may have seen an article that appeared in the journal Chiropractic and Manual Therapies earlier this year by Charlotte Leboeuf and a number of colleagues in the profession, entitled Chiropractic, One Big Unhappy Family, Better Together or Apart. And basically this paper calls for and puts on the table the idea that the profession needs a divorce. This line of thinking was carried through into the World Federation meeting and into the European Chiropractors Union meeting. And in fact, one of the keynotes called for this divorce to be completed by the time the WFC meets again in Tokyo in 2021. This is a very troubling perspective to see advanced, and quite frankly, I found it to be very inconsistent with the direction that the World Federation had adopted under its new strategic plan, and even the post-event writings of the president of the WFC, Dr. Tassel. This concept of dividing the profession along this artificial, just made up silliness on the part of some in the profession, that there is an evidence-based and a non-evidence-based profession, and that anybody who references subluxation is automatically non-evidence-based and borderline demonic in their view and in their approach. So we've got probably some rocky days ahead in terms of reconciling these views. And it's an important conversation. It's an unpleasant conversation at the moment, that's for sure. And it manifests in many different ways and in many different areas, and permeates right down to your office. You may think that, what's this got to do with me in Topeka? Well, this whole approach was tied very heavily to the American Chiropractic Association's perspective on their Choose Wisely campaign. Life University in particular was brought under great criticism for its opposition to the Choose Wisely campaign, and it was characterized as being out of step with the research and the reality. Life has prepared a statement that I expect to be available shortly that details far more fully the opposition of the university. And one of the fundamental problems that Life University has with the Choosing Wisely campaign is that apart from the X-ray recommendations, the Choosing Wisely campaign advocates an approach to spinal pain, in particular low back pain, that is absolutely inconsistent with the current evidence, and it's kind of mind-boggling for the people that are screaming evidence, 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 to be so in love with this Choose Wisely campaign when the campaign itself is advocating a perspective on low back pain that is out of date and inconsistent with the current literature. So there's lots to be worked out, and over time it will be. But there is trouble in paradise, that's for sure, relative to the WFC, European Chiropractors Union environment, and the perspectives that were advanced at this conference in Berlin. The end of March also found an important meeting of the Rubicon Group. The Rubicon Group is held its mid-year business meeting in late November. And one of the key issues there at the meeting was the preparations for the Rubicon Conference, November 15, 16, 2019 at the Hyatt Etoile, excuse my pronunciation if you speak French, hotel in the heart of Paris. And TRG has developed a lineup of clinicians, of scientists, and of policy leaders from around the world to comprise the faculty of the 2019 conference. And it's going to be a very exciting conference. We're bringing technologies to the table that have had very little conversation in chiropractic circles before, that are the cutting edge technologies relative to the evaluation of neurological function, and in particular neurological function in the amputee and artificial limb environment. And what can we learn from the experiences of those environments that will help us better understand our care, the neurology involved and the neurophysiology involved. And we think it's a very exciting perspective to look at through their lens and what they have learned in that environment and of the amputee world. And we think that there's tremendous insights that are there for us. And we're looking forward to being in Paris for this conference. And we have a number of leaders from the European sector, scientists that will be speaking. Of course, the scientists from the Rubicon Conference in terms of Dr. Havik, Dr. Kelly Holt, Dr. Imran Niazi, they will all be participating with us as well. And we hope that you'll take an opportunity in the fall to be a hero in your family and to your bride and or your husband, and take them to Paris for a nice outing at the end of the year. Get some of your Christmas shopping out of the way on the Champs-Élysées, and learn about some of the very new, very exciting developments regarding technologies that are being brought to bear to help us better understand the implications of our care and the reach of our care into the world in the field of neurology and fields of neurology and neurophysiology. So if you're interested in registering for the conference, the registration portal is available at the rubicongroup.org. And if you'd like to learn more and get some information about it, or have specific questions, if you write to TRG Nancy Torres, TORES, @gmail.com, Nancy will be happy to get back to you and fill you in on whatever you need. So plan to be with us in November in Paris. It's going to be a great opportunity. I can tell you that the hotel block at the Hyatt is relatively limited. It's a great price in Paris, probably half the going rate that you'll experience in Paris, and it's going to be sold out very quickly. So please get your reservations in soon, so you're at the venue hotel, number one, and number two, you can save some money by getting into the hotel, 4-star hotel, just off the Champs-Élysées, with a great rate for a great conference. So look forward to having you join us, and thank you for being there. We wish you all the best as the spring unfolds. Hope your teams win in the March Madness conclusions coming up. And as you move into Passover, into Easter, all the best that the season has for you, and all the best for a great springtime. And I'll look forward to being back in touch with you in another maybe 6 or 8 weeks, and we'll sit down and chat again about what's going on in and around the profession. So thanks for listening. Look forward to being back with you soon. Thanks again to ChiroSecure for all of their efforts and their help to make this possible. And we thank you and wish you the very best. Take care.